What if Roxanne Wolf held a speed dating event at the pizzaplex? In this Valentine's Day special What If, we're going to find out what would happen, so let's jump right in. Roxanne, the sleek wolf animatronic at Freddy Fazbear's Mega Pizzaplex, peeked out from the atrium stage. She nearly popped a capacitor when she saw the hundreds already lined up for her event, mostly guys and even some animatronics from other locations, all hoping to talk to her. "This is gonna be a long day," she muttered to herself as she slumped over to her dressing room. The event that nearly half of the Pizzaplex's patrons were signed up for was a speed dating contest that Roxy was hosting. The rules were rather simple. 1. All participants had to be over the age of 18 physically and mentally. 2. Each contestant only had 2 minutes to talk with her before leaving when a buzzer sounded. 3. You couldn't make any kind of physical contact with Roxanne. 4. No machine haunted by ghosts could participate. Roxy thought that last rule was kind of strange since she didn't believe ghosts existed, but she wasn't going to argue with Fazbear Entertainment for putting it there. The winner of this competition would earn an all-expenses paid all-day date with Roxy at the Pizzaplex, including a backstage tour and photo shoot. Normally, Fazbear Entertainment forbade romantic interactions with their animatronics, but since it was the day before Valentine's Day, they made an exception for their most popular animatronic. Roxanne spent most of the time in her dressing room arguing with her makeup artists and staff bots about how she was supposed to look. They tried combing her long, spiky hair straight, but she nicely informed all of them that her hair was iconic and that it didn't need fixing. Before Roxy knew it, the director of the event, Luis Cabrera, leaned in through the door and called out to her that the contest was going to start in 10 minutes. Already, to Roxanne, it seemed like she just walked into her dressing room only 5 minutes ago. In the end, as Roxy walked out, she looked no different than when she headed in. Maybe she was a little more glittery and had some blush on her face, but that was about it. "Oh wow, time really does fly when you're having fun. Great work, everyone. Let's do this again sometime," Roxy called as she hurried out the door. As she left, everyone in the room who could make a face glared fiercely at the door swinging behind her. As Roxy was led to the main stage in the atrium by Luis, she asked him if he was gonna participate in the contest. Luis told her he wasn't because he already set his sights on Vanessa. Roxanne thought it was just adorable for Luis to have a crush on the blonde security guard he had absolutely no chance with. Luis had no answer to this remark and just watched her walk up the stage steps with a baffled and defeated look. Roxy tapped on the microphone a couple of times to make sure it was working before getting everyone's attention. After greeting everyone and explaining the rules in a fun way with her opening speech, she immediately shot down nearly everyone's hopes by informing most contestants they were wasting their time here since there could only be one winner. Behind the curtain to her left, Freddy, Chica, and Monty were desperately waving their arms in front of themselves at Roxy in a no kind of movement with wide-eyed, desperate expressions. Roxanne just looked at her friends, puzzled as she wondered why they were raving without any music. After giving her opening speech, Roxy took her place at the nearest two-seater round table to the left of the stage. As soon as she sat down, 2 giant colorful confetti cannons went off from the stage to signal the beginning of the contest. Obviously, we're not going to go over every participant Roxy talked with in this speed dating contest, and she must have been exaggerating when she thought there were hundreds competing. At most, there were more likely a little over 100 potential dates. Even still, I don't have enough time in this scenario to go over her interaction with everyone. But you better believe we're going to experience the highlights of this contest. The first highlight was when a man with brown hair wearing a brown jacket over a white t-shirt took his seat. Ever since he sat down, Roxy had noticed that he was extremely nervous and constantly looking over his shoulder. Ooh, the jittery way he was acting was driving Roxanne up the wall to drink root beer. This nervous man told Roxy shakily that it was nice to finally meet an animatronic who wasn't trying to kill him. What this guy told Roxy sounded absolutely bonkers and she thought he was crazy. She knew for a fact that all of Fazbear Entertainment's animatronics were specifically designed not to harm anyone, and she knew because she was one of them after all. About a little more than halfway through his 2 minutes, an angry woman with brown hair and a red dress bolted up to him and started whacking him over the head with her fists and purse. She dragged him away from Roxy's table by the collar, disqualifying him. What a jerk! Roxanne couldn't believe that this guy brought his girlfriend or wife over to the Pizzaplex only to cheat on her with another girl, and a robot for crying out loud. Normally, Roxy was in favor of doing what it took to win, but she firmly believed real winners didn't cheat on their spouses. The second highlight was when El Chip, a beaver animatronic in the big hat, had his turn. Roxanne really enjoyed his time because he had the best jokes, compliments, and recipes. He was handsome to boot with such an adorable accent and could even play the Pizzaplex's theme on his mandolin. Roxy nearly struck out when she mistakenly took him for the life-size piñata inside the 1 second floor restaurant. She asked him if he was filled with candy, and he asked Senorita Wolf if she was trying to say he was filled with sweetness. Taking the opportunity for a rebound, Roxanne told him that's totally what she meant. Roxy was sad to hear the buzzer go off, and as El Chip got up to walk away, he strummed a farewell tune on his mandolin for her, fit for a romantic, warm summer night. She just watched him walk away while resting her head on her hand. Even when she could see him no more, Roxy was in such deep thought about El Chip that the next guy after him spent his 2 minutes just trying everything to get her attention. He failed miserably, and Roxanne only noticed him after the buzzer went off as he huffed away furiously. The third highlight was a red and white rabbit animatronic that caught Roxy's eye. She wondered if this was a new Bonnie animatronic from some location Fazbear Entertainment just opened. As this bunny began to talk, Roxanne seemed enthralled by him. Both of them were enjoying their conversation before Freddy and Monty walked up to this hair-raising robot and dragged him away by under his arms from her table. They didn't stop dragging him away until they got to the front entrance and kicked him out of the pizzaplex. As it turned out, this bunny bot was disqualified from the contest and permanently banned from the place for inserting itself into the story and trying to rig it into a self-insert fan fiction. Highlight number 4 was a white and pink fox named Funtime Foxy. At first, the way he talked was as if he were always putting on a show, which annoyed Roxy. As their conversation progressed, though, Roxanne got used to his announcer voice and both of them were able to hold a decent conversation. They talked about the shows they held and wild parties they witnessed, but when the buzzer rang, Funtime Foxy completely blew it with her. As he got up, he practically announced to the whole pizzaplex that he would miss his dear wolf and every step away was like a dagger in his chest. Roxanne was celebrating in her head after Funtime Foxy disappeared when Glamrock Freddy sat down in the chair across from her. Freddy? What was he doing at her table? Freddy explained he didn't actually want to be seen interacting with Roxy this way, especially since he saw her as a younger sister. However, Fazbear Entertainment forced him and the others to participate because they thought it would be great for marketing. Roxanne could tell that something else was on his mind with the expression he had. When she asked Freddy what was wrong, he confessed that this whole event reminded him of his best friend Bonnie and how he still missed him. Roxy talked with Freddy about Bonnie until the buzzer went off, then comforted him. When Monty showed up, he immediately asked Roxanne how Freddy was doing and what both of them were talking about. Roxy couldn't believe this. She could understand Freddy talking about Bonnie, but Monty only wanted to talk about Freddy? This event was all about her. He should have only been focused on her. When the buzzer sounded, Roxy had the most annoyed look on her face as Monty got up and rocketed towards Gator Golf. Roxanne was expecting things to go just as badly with Glamrock Chica, but she was pleasantly surprised. Both of them were having a great time enjoying each other's company. Roxy thought that Chica must have been one of the greatest actresses in the world because she was playing the role of Roxy's date naturally. Roxanne was actually kind of bummed out when Chica left and thought about how both of them should hang out and have a ladies' night later. After all the participants were done and Roxy felt like her battery was drained from talking with that many people, it was time to announce the winner. Nearly everyone gathered anxiously in front of the stage, looking up at Roxanne as a drum roll played. As the drum roll went silent, Roxy announced the winner, who was El Chip. A spotlight shone on the animatronic beaver as Roxanne and her band prepared to perform a musical number for him to end the day. The show didn't last long though, since before Freddy could even have a chance to start singing, he went all twitchy and collapsed on stage. As Chica rushed over to see if he was alright, Roxy threw a fit, slamming her keytar to the ground and storming off to her room. She just couldn't stand to have El Chip look at her after the embarrassment of a show her band put on. Back in her room, Roxanne sat huddled on her couch, knees up to her chin while clutching both sides of her head. She was rocking back and forth, simulating breathing in and out rapidly while having an anxiety attack. Roxy thought about how El Chip would never want to see her again and that she totally blew it after what happened on stage. Why didn't she keep her cool and just walk him out of the pizzaplex? What must he be thinking of her after watching her throw a fit so childishly like that? Would he ever forgive her after that performance and the way she acted? Roxanne shook her head and stood up confidently. This wasn't her fault, she thought to herself. She wasn't the one who blundered on stage. As she walked up to her mirror, she began to believe she had nothing to worry about. Freddy was the one who blundered, while she played her instrument flawlessly. El Chip would be back, especially after the way he saw her play the keytar. There was nobody who could have done it better to impress him, she thought as she looked at herself in the mirror. After all,
your performance was perfect tonight! Thank you. Your hair is beautiful. Your tail is beautiful. Everyone was watching you. Everyone loves you. Everyone wants to be you. You are the best. Thank you. I am the best. I am the best.
Hey, thanks for making it this far, because that makes you my shining star. If you've enjoyed the video up to this point, a subscription would be appreciated. I'm trying to make it up to 400 subscribers by the end of this year. But most importantly, I just hope you really enjoyed the video.